Hey guys, it's Naseem here. Now, after using the Pixel 6 Pro for about 8 months now, the one thing that kept coming to my mind after using it on a day-to-day basis was this simple statement that I think explains the 6 Pro pretty perfectly. And that statement is, I think that the Pixel 6 Pro has completely redeemed itself. And I say this because when the 6 Pro first came out, it had a plethora of things that hindered its performance and completely ruined the overall quality of the phone. During the first few months of me having it, I experienced a ton of app crashes, the auto brightness not being that good, and many other bugs that drove me away from using the 6 Pro as much as any other Android phones. But as of today, Google has turned the 6 Pro around and has fixed most of the things that I and many other users had been complaining about for so long. And because Google actually put in the effort to make the 6 Pro a better phone, I will say that it's the smoothest experience that you can get in any Android phone. And I can say that after many updates, the 6 Pro has a really great software that gives an immersive experience. It has an amazing display that is very colorful and vibrant, and it has a great battery that can last you all day with moderate to heavy use. And even though I think the Pixel 6 Pro is an amazing phone that has really improved over time, I still wanted to let you guys in on my experience with it to help you decide whether or not it's worth buying. And now the first thing that I wanted to look at when it comes to the Pixel 6 Pro is the display. Now the Pixel 6 Pro has a 6.7-inch LTPO AMOLED display that I must say is one of the best displays that you can get on any phone when it comes to this price. I also really love the fact that it had a very high refresh rate, which I will say looked pretty amazing. Like right here, you can see me scrolling through the OS and it looks as smooth as ever. Doing simple things like going through the app manager and being on social media were much better than if it were 60 Hz. And speaking of the display, right here you can see that the colors are vibrant, the resolution is pretty amazing, it didn't look too saturated, and the whole experience was much better than I expected. And to show you guys what I mean, I will be playing games and watching movies on the display. Now the one problem that I had with the screen was that the brightness was severely lacking, especially when you compare it to Samsung where all the screens managed to have the highest brightness. Whenever I was going to the gym, I would be going outside on a very sunny day and pull out my phone, and as soon as the brightness was all the way up, I still couldn't see as well, which was very underwhelming. The auto brightness was something that really improved. Like this time, whenever the brightness needed to go up, it will go up. And whenever the brightness needed to go down, it will go down, unlike the past few months before the updates. And one more problem that I had with the screen was that the fingerprint sensor was still definitely one of the worst that I had dealt with when it came to any smartphone. Like right here, you can see that I still have to hold my finger on the display for a longer period of time. And don't get me wrong, it's got much better over time, but it still wasn't great. And there were even times where I would hold it on the sensor and it couldn't even sense my finger, which again was very underwhelming. And even though there were some updates, I still feel like it's extremely slow compared to other smartphones. And now the next thing that I wanted to look at when it comes to the Pixel 6 Pro is the software experience. Now I really enjoyed the software on the Pixel 6 Pro, the apps, the customization, and the overall smooth, clean aspect to it. And one thing that I really loved that they improved was the bugs. And before, like I told you guys, I didn't know why, but the Pixel 6 Pro was getting a lot of unnecessary bugs that I feel before the update Google could have been fixed. Like for example, whenever I would go on my YouTube studio, I would refresh my page to see my channel stats, and every time I did this, the app would close and I would have to do it all over again. Also, whenever I was on Instagram, I would refresh my timeline and to no surprise, the app would crash on me and I would have to boot it up again. And the worst part about all of it was the fact that this was a problem that had been happening to me for months before the latest update fixed it. And I was very disappointed with the way Google handled these bugs because a lot of people were having them for so long and Google failed to fix them in time, which means that they let the 6 and 6 Pro have a very bad bug reputation. But besides the former bugs and app crashes, I still enjoyed the software on the Pixel 6 Pro. To me, it felt amazing because I was also using all Google apps, and since they're all connected, I got a great ecosystem type feel from them. And now the next thing that I wanted to look at when it comes to the Pixel 6 Pro is the battery life. Now I will usually get about 4 to 5 hours of on-screen time, which was pretty heavy usage to put a good strain on the battery. And I was doing things like watching movies, playing games, and even planning out videos, which was fairly heavy use. And even after putting all that strain on the battery, I would end up with about 15% battery left, which wasn't as great, but still was enough to get me through the night. And also take into consideration that I have adaptive battery on, and it did adapt to how I use my phone. So there were a lot of times where my phone would drop to 60 Hz just to preserve battery life. And something else that I loved about the battery was the fact that it had pretty fast charging speeds. Like there were times where I forgot to charge my phone and had to charge it while I was getting ready for work. It would take me about an hour to get ready, and by the time I was done, my phone would be at 90%, which was just enough power for me to last the whole day. And now the last thing that I wanted to look at when it comes to the Pixel 6 Pro is the cameras. Now the camera on the Pixel 6 Pro was easily my favorite thing that I loved about this phone. It has some of the best photos and really amazed me because I can honestly say that they were much better than the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Like when we look at the daytime outside pictures, we can see that they were very vibrant, colorful, sharp, and were able to capture my face very beautifully thanks to Google making their cameras more compatible with people of color. And when we look at the daytime inside photos, we can see that the camera was still amazing, the colors were very accurate, my skin looked really amazing, and it brightened up the photo even though there was less lighting. And when it comes to video quality, I would say that the Pixel 6 Pro was amazing. The videos were vibrant, sharp, and let tons of light in. And to show you guys what I mean, here's some examples of different videos that I took. And there it is, my review on the Pixel 6 Pro after 8 months of use. Now let me know down in the comments, do you guys agree that the Pixel 6 Pro had redeemed itself? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I'd like to say thank you for sticking around. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, it'll be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys on the next one.